Good. Yeah. Just got here last night. Got here a little bit later, but yeah, it feels weird that it's cutting weight day. Well, tonight, and weigh-ins are tomorrow. But yeah, it feels good. It means less time just hanging about the hotel, and yeah, I'm feeling good.
And hanging about the hotel, you might run into your opponent. Have you seen him yet?
Yeah, I've seen them, but I don't mind that. I actually like seeing them before. I'd rather see them, and because I'm feeling good and confident for this fight. So yeah.
So we just had him in here, and he talked a little bit of trash again. He
Yeah.
says he heard your interview. He says that you're still clout chasing. He says he's better looking, and he says you have bad knees. Wondering if you could comment on that.
My knees are actually great, so I don't know if it's on camera, but look how good my knees look. My knees are usually, if you looked at my knees, they're not as thin as that, and I've not got the quads like that either. So yeah, my knees are actually good. They're the best they've been in a while, but I didn't understand why he keeps saying clout chasing. He's got 10,000 followers on social media. And like, yeah, maybe the diehard fans know who he is, Clay Collard, but he's no a big fighter. Like, I just beat Anthony Pettis twice last year. Who the fuck is Clay Collard? In terms of like the world knowing him. So I really didn't understand where he's getting that from. I've got double the amount of followers as him on social media.
Do you feel like you're the most dangerous fighter you've ever been? You obviously have, no points coming in, so you've got to have you've got that like pressure of performing. And you also have everything that's going on with your family and your daughter, and you've got extra motivation. Do you feel like you're more dangerous because of that?
Yeah, he's ended up with the wrong time to fight me. I'm coming to, honestly, I'm going to come and fucking take his head off. I've been motivated as ever, probably more motivated than I've ever been. Just with everything that's going on, the fact this could be potentially my last ever fight, he better believe he's getting the best Stevie Ray that there is, and yeah, I'm coming for him.
Are you considering retirement?
Yeah, I think this is my last year of fighting. So, I mean, obviously I'm hoping to qualify for the playoffs and keep fighting. But if obviously I didn't qualify, then technically I don't have a fight in line. I would like to fight another fight later this year. I'd like to get on one of the UK cards. The Dublin card is like one that I would like to get on. Yeah, a little bit. I've been doing it 14 years. I go back and forth because, like, this week I've been like, I'm in good spirits. My weight's good. I'm enjoying life. But it's all the downsides to it. It's having to, especially the tournaments, back-to-back fights. And even though I'm not the biggest lightweight, it's the diet that does it for me. So if I did do next year, I'd maybe just do welterweight, even though I'd be like a small welterweight. I'd at least be able to enjoy the food, because you have to diet quite a lot to make the 155.
So there's been some rumors that the PFL may buy Bellator. I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on that, or if there's somebody in Bellator you'd like to fight.
To be honest, I'm at a point where like I just want to fight big names, or obviously if it's a big opportunity, like this one's a big opportunity. I'm fighting Clay Collard, even though I wouldn't say he's a big name. But it's a potentially winning the $1 million, so that's where the motivation is. But yeah, I'm a gamer. I'd like to fight guys like Jake Paul, guys that are big names. But yeah, we'll see. It all depends on what happens this next fight. Because if I win and qualify, then obviously I'm fighting again in 6 weeks or whatever it is. If I win and don't qualify, then I didn't really know what happens there. And if I lose, it'll be the first time I've ever lost 3 fights in a row, ever. So yeah, it kind of depends on what happens this fight.
Last question for me: what's your final four going into the playoffs, or do you think it's going
The
to?
final 4 I think is going to be Olivier, Bruno, Schultz, in me. Hopefully, I think it's a fight for the fourth place. I'm hoping Schultz beats Manfield. Um, I think Bruno's going to beat Martinez. I think Olivier will win his fight. I think Burgos will beat Nishikawa. And is that it? There's one more? I think there's one more, but can't remember. And then I'm obviously hoping to beat Clay.
Thank you. Right here, Maddie with Fight Bananas. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
So you've been vocal about motivation. It sounds like you're more motivated than ever, but you also spoke about after your loss against OAM, you were struggling to find motivation. So how did you pull yourself out of that dark place to keep going?
Yeah, I mean, the last fight camp was pretty rubbish. I started the fight camp low motivation, bit depressed maybe still. I ended up in the hospital. I had MRSA. I was on IV antibiotics for 2 weeks. Had a big infection in my knee. Obviously kept it quiet, never said anything. And the fight was rubbish as well, frustrating. The first fight's always the hardest fight of the season. It's enjoying yourself over Christmas and stuff. The big weight cut. I had like 50 pounds to lose. It's just been so much easier keeping the weight down, and my body's healthy, and then obviously my daughter's just had brain surgery, so that's given me a lot of motivation. The fact this could be the last one, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, you were just talking about, potential retirement, and for you, is that more of a mental reason or a physical reason?
It's more a physical reason, probably. A bit of both. It's more my wife hates my job. I've got 4 kids. With this season, back-to-back fights, you're pretty much on fight camp the whole year. As most professional fighters know, at this league and level, one fight camp's like 3 months. So if you're fighting 4 times in a year, that's 12 months. That's the whole 12 months you're on fight camp. There's not a lot of time for anything else in life. It's tough. It's tough to enjoy your life. It just kind of depends on what happens, but I think maybe just even a break from it if I don't qualify, or if I do qualify and I win the whole thing. We'll see. I maybe just need a break to see if that is it forever. But
Last one for me. You've been very vocal about what's going on with your daughter Mila. She had a very busy 3 weeks with a lot of surgeries. Any updates on how she's doing?
So she's doing well. She had the first surgery. They took a golf ball size of her brain. That was a way of getting tested to see like what exactly it was. But the surgeons did say it did feel different to the rest of the brain. So that was going well. I think 10 days post-surgery, she ended up where the cut ended up opening. She had swelling on her head as well that we were wondering why swelling came all of a sudden after 10 days. Because if it was normal inflammation, we would kind of expect it straight away. So we're not sure what that inflammation was yet, but we do know that she ended up with an infection. It's very low chance to get an infection after surgery, and they said only 1 or 2 has ever ended up with an infection that they've done. And Mila obviously is one of the ones that ended up with it. So they done a partial surgery where they basically cleaned the part that had opened a little bit and cleaned that part, re-stitched it, and that was that. Then I think a couple of days after it, another person had seen it that's to do with all the surgeons and stuff, and said we were told she's getting surgery that day. It was a little bit of a scare. Emergency surgery, the whole thing got opened again, cleaned out. They wanted to check if the bone was infected, so the part of the skull that they had took away. they said if that was infected, they would have to remove that and they would have to put a titanium plate in. But they weren't able to tell if it was infected or not. They said that that wouldn't show until about 4 or 5 weeks post-surgery. So she's on IV antibiotics for 2 weeks. But Myla herself has been absolutely fine. You wouldn't even think she's had surgery. So that's been kind of the good part of it all. The fact that she's actually just well. It was so much harder to deal with if she was actually unwell and struggling. But yeah, she's been great. And that's what gives me the motivation as well. It's like, it doesn't matter how hard this fight is. It's not as hard as the fight she's had to do. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Some
Thank you.
prayers go out to you and your family first and foremost. But knowing everything that's at stake for you, that you need to get through Friday in order to move on with anything, and knowing Clay Collard's penchant for not just striking really well, but also mixing things up and being an incredible wild card, where do you think you might be able to take advantage of all of his stylistic kind of weaknesses?
Yeah, he's a little bit one of those fighters that's a little bit unorthodox. So he throws random stuff, I would say. Like, predominantly he boxes. Obviously, he's a volume puncher, so he's not got. I wouldn't say he's got that one shot knockout like worry where like he's got a huge big right hand or something. But he is obviously technical and he comes with a lot of volume and pressure. But yeah, he doesn't look that dangerous in terms of getting stopped, you know, with a submission or a shot. And yeah, he's just a bit unorthodox. He'll throw a random knee or kick. He looks tough. He looks like he might be tough to finish. That being said, I believe in my skills. I believe I could knock him out. I think I hit harder than him. I think I'm stronger than him. I've got a lot better grappling than him. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's an MMA fight. If I go in, take him down and submit him, or I go in there and knock him out, I believe I can win on the feet and on the ground.
So that kind of goes into my next question, which is, do you expect the fight to go to the ground at all, or do you think it's going to be more of a striking matchup between you guys?
I think it's possibly going to be more of a striking match, but you never know. You never know sometimes. I'm prepared for everything. Like, even though he comes to strike, he might try and... He said he has been working his grappling a lot the last year. I watched some old interviews and he said he had been working a lot of grappling. I noticed he'd been mucking around with some judo as well. So, you can't ever underestimate a fighter. And that's in terms of everything. So you never know, he might come in and take me down, try and surprise me. But one thing that I am confident in, and that's that I know I could beat him.
My last question. When you were getting ready for the fight, did you see any weaknesses in like film study or anything that you thought you could exploit today and or this week and make use of?
Film study as in like his old fights?
Yeah.
To be honest, not really. I mean, I seem to do well against the style that he is. He's very similar to Anthony Pettis. He's a good striker. He's not a huge puncher. He's maybe tricky at some submissions. So even though he's not a grappler, he's maybe got a couple of submissions that he's good at. And yeah, I think that type of style I do well against, as I shown against beating Pettis twice.
Thank you.
So obviously last time we saw you in Atlanta, a lot of people wrote you off, so you weren't going to make the playoffs, but you got the points you needed to, and you snuck in. Does it kind of feel like this time around history's kind of gearing to repeat itself, or you kind of in the same position?
Hopefully it's deja vu all over again. Because yeah, it was June 24th last year in Atlanta, where I had to get a finish to qualify. It's like skip forward a year, 23rd this time. Same arena, different opponent obviously, but yeah, I need the same result. So it gives me confidence knowing that obviously I could do it. I done it last year. and it is possible. And I believe in myself, and I know I could do it. So we'll see on Friday.
And then last one for me. Obviously, you didn't get the result you wanted to last fight, but I'm curious, with the point system, does it kind of make it a little easier to process knowing that all your other lightweight fighters kind of left the door open and no one kind of had that defining win?
Yeah, it's always good. Like when last year Pettis had 6, so he was the only guy that got a first round finish. Manfield had 4, and I still qualified. With that going on, this time all of them only have 3. But yeah, even if I did win, let's say I did even win and I got 3 points against Schultz, I would still be in the same position where I had to get possibly a finish, because even just getting another 3 points and having 6 points sometimes isn't enough. Like, it's so crazy what can happen. Look at the featherweights. Chris Wade was going through. All he needed was Brendan. He needed Brendan to lose, and as long as it wasn't in the first round before his fight, and then obviously look what happened. That guy beat Brendan, and then he's going through. So that's what makes it exciting. I think it's genius what the PFL have done with this system, and it's exciting for not only the fans but the fighters as well. Because if it was just a case of when you lose you're out, then we wouldn't be in this position.
Thank you.
You wasn't lucky your last fight. What are you planning to do this Friday, especially as you mentioned, it could be your last year?
So yeah, the last fight was frustrating. I didn't have the best fight camp, and yeah, I was held down, and I should have done some different things in the fight, tried to stand more, but fair play to Nathan Schultz. He was strong. Yeah, I underestimated maybe his clinch game. Like, he took me down mostly from the clinch, and when he got me down, he held me down. So yeah, I've learned from that, although I've not spent too much time on that this camp. I have spent some time, because you never know. I didn't want that to happen again. But Clay's a complete different fighter. So yeah, I've just been back to training everywhere, and I'm ready for this fight.
What can you use against Collar this Friday? What are his weaknesses?
His weaknesses, I would say his weaknesses are he looks soft to the body. He could take a shot to the chin. He doesn't take a shot to the body too well. He looks a bit softer. He's also not a good kicker. Nishikawa showed in the fight that he was getting kicked to the legs and stuff. He had to switch his fight stance because of it. And not a lot of people have exposed his ground game at all. So yeah, if it's not working on the feet, then I could maybe look to take him down and see what his ground skills are like.
You said you can't wait to enjoy your food after retirement. What is your favorite cuisine?
Oh, that's always the best part. After, like, I cannot wait till tomorrow to eat. I have to diet quite good, or quite hard, to make the 155. I'm not the biggest 155, but I have to be disciplined with the food and stuff. After the fight, always pizza. I've already been checking out the pizza places nearby. I like a good Italian pizza. After the weigh-ins, is usually some sort of just anything with carbs, or mixed carbs and fat. Just put it all together in a bowl and put it in my mouth. I like, my favourite's usually a chicken Alfredo fettuccine, creamy pasta. But I think I'm going to the last few fights I've done a steak and mac and cheese from the Roof Chris Steakhouse. They've got a place in the hotel, so I've got that booked for 8 o'clock. So that will be getting done. Steak and mac and cheese.
One last question. Other than yourself, who's your favorite fighter?
My favourite fighter, it used to be GSP. I liked watching him. I liked how smart he was, how he wasn't always the best in one area, but he knew how to win. He could so he wasn't the best wrestler, but he still out wrestled Josh Koscheck, because it's like MMA wrestling. I just liked how smart he was, and I also liked the fact that, you know, whether he was always completely natural, he was never caught for cheating. So, yeah, all these fighters, they're all cheating fucks. Look at the amount of people that's just been popped as well. I mean, it's frustrating for me because I'm 33, I'm getting older, and see to try and hang in there with the 21-year-olds that are training in the gym. I'm coming in the next day absolutely shattered, tired, and not wanting to train, but going through it. And then these fuckers are all cheating. But can't even mind the question. I went off on one, but
Your favorite fighter?
yeah, favourite fighter. Yeah, GSP. Maybe McGregor as well. I like what he's done for the sport.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, that's all we've got time for. Appreciate it, Shane.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry,
Thank you.
Stevie, sorry.